In the Mafia, there are only a few ways out: prison, death, or disappearing forever. But one man did something almost unheard of. He walked away from the Mafia, survived, and rebuilt his life in public. His name is Michael Franzese, and decades after becoming one of the most powerful figures in organized crime, he would reinvent himself as a businessman, speaker, author, and one of the most recognized mafia storytellers on YouTube. And honestly, I'm a huge fan of his show because, unlike the Hollywood version of organized crime, Francis often talks openly about the real cost of that life and how difficult it is to leave it behind. Michael Franzese was born in Brooklyn, New York in 1951. Organized crime was already part of his family history. His father, John Franzese, was a powerful member of the Colombo crime family and one of the most feared figures in the Mafia. Michael originally attended college and had plans outside organized crime. But after his father received a lengthy prison sentence, Franzese became increasingly involved in the Mafia world. By the 1970s, he officially entered the Colombo crime family, and he rose quickly. Michael Franzese became known for intelligence and business strategy more than violence. Federal authorities later identified him as the architect of a massive gasoline tax fraud scheme during the 1980s. The operation exploded fuel tax systems and shell companies, generating enormous illegal profits. At its height, prosecutors estimated that the scheme was earning millions of dollars per week. The profits made Franzese extremely wealthy. According to reports at the time, he earned so much money that Fortune magazine placed him on the list of the nation's wealthiest and most powerful mob figures. Unlike many mobsters, Francis cultivated a polished image. He wore expensive suits, moved comfortably in business circles, and operated with a level of sophistication that drew national attention. As Francis's influence grew, so did federal investigations. Law enforcement agencies aggressively targeted organized crime throughout the 1980s. The Colombo crime family itself also became unstable due to internal conflict and leadership struggles. Francis was eventually indicted on racketeering and conspiracy charges connected to his criminal activities. He later pleaded guilty to racketeering charges and served time in federal prison. But prison would not be the end of his story. Leaving the Mafia is extraordinarily rare. Historically, people who tried often disappeared or worse. But over time, Francis distanced himself from organized crime. He has publicly credited his Christian faith, his relationship with his wife, and his desire for a different life as major turning points. Unlike many former mob figures, Francis did not enter witness protection and did not publicly testify against mafia leadership in the same way some informants did. Instead, he gradually separated himself from that world entirely, and remarkably, he survived. In later years, Francis built a legitimate public career. He became an author, motivational speaker, and a media personality. He has appeared in interviews, documentaries, podcasts, and public speaking events discussing organized crime, personal accountability, prison, and redemption. More recently, Francis developed a major presence online through YouTube and podcast content where he discusses mafia history, true crime stories, business lessons, and his own experiences. For many viewers, that honesty is what makes his content compelling. He speaks not only about power and money, but consequences, about the reality behind organized crime, and about how easily people can lose themselves chasing status, wealth, or loyalty. Michael Franzese remains a controversial figure. To some, he represents redemption and reinvention. To others, he is still connected to a violent criminal past. But what makes his story unusual is not simply that he became successful. It's that he survived leaving a world where most people never get a second chance. And today, instead of hiding from the past, Francis openly discusses it, not as a Hollywood fantasy, but as a warning. Michael Franzese once lived inside one of the most powerful mafia organizations in America. He made millions, he built influence, and he stood close to a world built on secrecy and power. But unlike so many others connected to organized crime, his story did not end in a prison cell or an unmarked grave. Instead, he walked away and somehow managed to build a completely different life on the other side of it. If you enjoy real, historically accurate crime stories like this, make sure to subscribe to A Veil of Crime so you never miss what comes next. This episode is part of the Blood Oaths, the Mafia Files series, where we uncover the real stories behind the rise, power, betrayal, and downfall of organized crime figures throughout history. Watch the full series to see how these stories connect, because every oath has a cost. And if you'd like to support the channel and help keep these stories coming, you can buy me a coffee using the link on the channel. Your support helps keep A Veil of Crime growing. Until next time, some men are destroyed by the life they chose. Others spend the rest of their lives trying to escape it, and very few ever truly do.